it's Melissa with Big Universe Music, and today we're going to learn 10 guitar chords that every guitar player should know, and a few variations on each so that you can learn how to spice up your songs and your strumming. Grab your guitar and let's get into it. If you'd like to follow along with this lesson, be sure to click the download link in the description below so that you can get a PDF worksheet of all of the guitar chords that we're going to be talking about today. Going in no particular order, we're going to start with one of the most popular guitar chords, G. The G chord is used in thousands and thousands of songs, and it's super helpful to learn this one first because it's going to allow you to learn lots of different songs. G chord is usually played by folk and rock guitarists in this fingering: pointer finger on the 2nd fret 5th string, our middle finger on the 3rd fret 6th string, and then our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And guitarists with classical training will encourage you to use different fingers, same notes. So that would be our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. The reason that they encourage this is because it creates a smooth transition between G, G7, and a chord that's coming up for us, the C chord. I like to play the G chord with as many fretted notes as possible. So I'm going to use my pointer finger on the 2nd fret 5th string, my middle finger on the 3rd fret 6th string, then my ring finger will go to the 3rd fret of my 2nd string, and my pinky will go to the 3rd fret of my 1st string. Using my ring finger and my pinky will allow my left hand to transition between G and a chord called C add 9 that I love to use. So we'll talk about those in a moment. Our next must-know chord is the C chord. The C chord uses our pointer finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, our middle finger on the 2nd fret 4th string, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret 5th string. One of the variations that I love to play of the C chord is called C add 9. To make a C add 9 chord, I can just start with my G chord with the 2 upper strings on the 3rd fret, and then simply move my pointer finger and my ring finger in a string. So a close-up of that transition. Here I am at my G chord, and then transition to C add 9. In the key of G, that add 9 on the C gives it a nice droney sound that's really cool in like pop, rock, folk songs. The third absolutely must-know guitar chord is the D chord. I often call this chord the pizza slice because if you imagine what the chord shape looks like, it's in the shape of kind of a triangle or a pizza slice. The D chord is a really cool chord because it's also one of our triad shapes. On the guitar, the triads are often played on the first 3 strings of the guitar. So if you're using triads, you can use your D chord all up and down the neck. To make the D chord, we'll do our 2nd fret 3rd string, 2nd fret 1st string, and 3rd fret 2nd string. When we strum, we're only going to strum either from string 5 to 1 or string 4 to 1. That open E string does not sound good in the D chord. One variation you can do with the D chord as you're playing is to use a hammer-on and pull-off on any of those strings, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Our fourth must-know guitar chord is one that gives most guitar players a lot of trouble. This is the first bar chord that most guitar players learn, and it is called the F chord. The F chord looks and sounds like this. The F chord is sometimes people's frenemy chord because, like I said, it's the first bar chord that people learn and it takes a lot of practice to get down. Let's start with a small version of the F chord to get us on the right path. Start by barring string 1 and 2 on fret 1 and make sure you can get a clear sound out of those 2 strings. Then when you're ready, add your middle finger to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and see if you can get a clear sound out of those 3 strings. And then continue on. Let's add our pinky to the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and then our ring finger to the 3rd fret of the 5th string. If you've made it that far and you're getting a clear sound out, try extending your pointer finger across the 1st fret for that full bar chord. If you're not able to play the F chord yet, let me show you 2 options that will get you through until you've put the practice time in to get that chord down. The first one is called F major 7. Now this chord won't sound good in every single song that you have an F chord, so use your ear, make sure you're listening carefully to make sure it works. Our first finger, our pointer finger, will go to the 1st fret, 2nd string. Our 2nd finger will go to the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then our ring finger will go to the 3rd fret, 4th string. And when you strum, you'll start on string 4 through string 1. Another choice instead of playing the full F chord is to do an F power chord. That will use the lower strings of the guitar, and it will take you putting your pointer finger on string 6, fret 1, and your ring finger, string 5, fret 3. If you choose to do that, just remember, you can only play those 2 lower strings. You can't play any of the other strings. Let's keep rolling with my number 5 guitar chord that every single guitar player needs to know, and that's just simply our E major chord, our E chord. Our E chord takes our 1st fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 5th string, and 2nd fret, 4th string. The E chord is great because you get to use all of the strings to strum, and you'll come across this chord in blues and rock and roll all the time. My number 6 guitar chord that every guitar player needs to know is the A major chord. The A major chord's nickname for me is the bear claw. It's all set on 2nd fret, and it is string 2, 3, and 4, nice and grouped in together. When you strum, you're going to play strings 5 through 1. Now, one fun way to play the A chord is to make a bar across all those notes and then add your pinky up there on top on fret 5. Number 7 is the B7 chord. The B7 chord is awesome because for me it feels really natural on my left hand, and it's used in songs in the key of E. To make the B7 chord, I'm going to do my pointer finger on fret 1, string 4, my middle finger on fret 2, string 5, my ring finger on fret 2, string 3, and my pinky on fret 2, string 1. When I strum, I start at string 5 through 1. Rolling along, our next chord is number 8, D minor. I like to call the D minor chord the crooked pizza slice. It's a lot like our D chord, but instead of the first string being on the 2nd fret, our first string, we'll use the 1st fret. D minor is 1st fret, 1st string, 2nd fret, 3rd string, and 3rd fret, 2nd string. When you strum, you'll start at string 5 through 1 or 4 through 1. Our number 9 most important guitar chord that everyone needs to learn is the B minor chord. This is another bar chord. We're going to bar the 2nd fret, add our middle finger to the 3rd fret, 2nd string, our ring finger to the 4th fret, 4th string, and our pinky to the 4th fret, 3rd string. Bar chords are really important to practice because it allows us to move around the guitar neck without the help of a tool called a capo. Our very last chord in the 10 chords that everybody must know is the E minor chord. This is usually the first chord that I teach to all my students. It's really easy to play and you can use all of your guitar strings for this one. We're simply going to take peace fingers on our left hand, find the 2nd fret, and then our pointer finger will go to the 5th string and our middle finger will go to the 4th string. To add some spice to the E minor chord, try doing some hammer-ons and pull-offs. And that brings us to the end of our lesson on 10 guitar chords that everyone must know. And let me know in the comments, which chord is your favorite and which one is the hardest one for you to play. Make sure to like and subscribe for more lessons on guitar, singing, and songwriting, and I'll see you in the next class.